And welcome. This is week 6 of seven.
7.
Oh, I had that wrong. 7. This is week 7 of ISU versus Minnesota State University. And this is the last game of the regular season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before spring break, and then we come back, and then we go into playoffs.
Yep.
Correct?
Going to playoffs, and we'll see how we do. There's a low chance that we'll actually make it into or far into playoffs, but hey, we've had a really good and fun season so far.
Do you know how big the bracket is?
I would guess 12, but don't quote me on that. But we don't know, I guess. We'll just have to wait and see.
We will. I'm pretty excited for playoffs. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think playoffs bring out the best in teams. So I don't know. Maybe our team will surprise us.
Yeah, and they've surprised us in playoff tournaments before.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't even this year, like in the Big Sky playoff, they pulled out 2 wins?
That was that. Yeah, I think we did.
Two or
It was
three.
like 2 or 3 wins that we
Yeah.
that we won in that tournament.
Yeah, which is the best they've done in a playoff or even in the regular season.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, either way, more information about today's game against Minnesota State University. We lost the coin flip again.
We just seem to do that, but it's okay.
Yeah. So they got first pick, and they will choose Nepal for their first map
Yeah, Nepal, I feel like we played that last week and it went
swimmingly.
swimmingly in our
Yeah.
favor. We're playing Troy, and definitely had a good game against Troy. I feel like Troy is probably at the bottom of the bracket this season.
No, they are
Win three,
probably.
win 0-3 for us, and I
Yeah.
think for the team that we're playing now, they win 0-3 as well. So
They did, but
Yeah.
so one interesting thing about the team that we are playing is that looking back at their record and throughout this season, they've never swept a team.
that's true.
So out of all the teams that they've played, they've always won a couple, and then like either they've lost it at a bar burner, or they've just never been good enough to really just completely wipe a team off the map and leave them with a donut on the board.
And when we looked before, their ranks are looking pretty similar to ours.
Yeah.
So we are probably looking for a very close game, which we like to see. So it's going to be an interesting one at that. But the Minnesota University or
Say,
State University Mavericks are coming in strong, looking like they are 3-2 for this season, and these last 2 losses for them have been in the previous these previous weeks. So
yeah.
they are in kind of a funk and a losing spree. So
Hopefully that continues.
we'll see if ISU can capitalize on that funk and make something happen.
Yeah. So a couple changes for ISU. We are going to be trying something different out for this first game, or at least for the first game, and then could be further depending on their performance.
So what we've heard from the strategics of ISU's team is that they are going to be switching out the roster just a little bit, and we don't know if it's going to be happening in the first map or later on. But we're going to see Zaref being swapped out for a junior varsity player by the name of Strike. And we will see when that will happen. I'm not sure if that's going to be game 1, 2, or 3, but we'll probably see that before the night's out.
More than likely. And we are back with our Overwatch 2 bingo. Now, if anybody had 2 steaming hot coffee cups on their bingo card, go ahead and mark it now.
See, this is where Overwatch kind of freaks me out, because these maps look very empty at times, but when we see like things like this, there's signs of life. These coffees are still hot,
You know, honestly, I didn't even thought about that.
so they must
Honestly,
have evacuated like real quick.
that's true. I didn't even think about that.
But right off the bat, we are seeing the composition that we are pretty familiar with. Average Pillow going with the Zarya. Looks like Lemonade is going to go and choose Sojourn, which for this map, it's probably a good pick.
Especially with Sojourn's perks. After this new season, she is very, very strong.
Oh, Almost.
Not much of a surprise to see Lemonade on Soldier.
Yep, Lemonade was able to grab a pick off Topaz, and ISU as well got a pick, but I did miss that.
Oh, Lemonade with the next 2 picks, securing 3 for this opening fight.
And it looks like first contested zone is going to go to ISU.
As we know, and as we've said multiple times, this is...
It's kind of our theme song at this point.
Yeah, literally. This is what we want to see. This is where we want to be to win, basically.
Yeah, so we can see that the ultimate economy is slightly in ISU's favor. Both Average Pillow and Lemonade have uppity ups in and getting close to their ults. But now they're just going to be playing a little bit of...
Holy
There we
rain.
go. Looks like Wind is going to lead the charge, but die quickly.
Goes down in the process. Very nice pick for Average Pillow. Shooting that Genji.
Yeah, I can hear it. ISU is definitely having fun over there. They like winning.
I think everybody likes winning. I don't like losing.
Well, right now I can't contest that. I can't source anyone that I can think of that likes losing.
Yeah, it was just going back to that one fight. It's interesting play from Wind. Just completely just bull rushing again, like we're seeing again. Does end up securing a pick, but will get traded. So Zeref will go down. Lemonade with another pick. Baking the cake, taking out Wind. Average Pillow with another one.
And it looks like the Mavericks are going to have to peter off and just let this one go. Unfortunately, that those momentum charges, Wind is trying to poke a hole through these defensive, trying to get an opening for his team to come through, but it is just not happening.
Getting immediately punished the second he tries to do anything regarding making space.
And Average Pillow is still holding on to a strong advantage with the ultimate. And
Good grab for Average
right
Pillow.
Does get taken out, but Lemonade and Zeref do snag some kills. Invictus does take out Average Pillow. Oh, and it looks like the cage match has started.
And they will surprisingly end up flipping that fight with both the cage match, what's the ult name?
I don't know. I call it the cage match.
I call it the cage anyways. With both cage and the Genji Blade.
But yeah, turning that over in the overtime, pretty cool. But
yeah,
I don't see any reason why ISU shouldn't be able to turn this around.
completely washing again.
I don't know why Wind decided to come out this far.
It does end up paying off for his team though, allowing I don't want to say that name.
Looks like they're gonna have to stagger. What was it?
Boost.
Boost?
That just sounds awkward on my tongue. The Genji to secure 2 kills.
Once again, we're gonna have to send out memos to some of these players.
I know. Somehow spots that Sojourn on the right. Very good game awareness by Average Fellow. Who's once again getting the entry pick. Causing ISU to back off just a little bit. Have to wait for Bacon and Cake to come back.
Yeah, ISU is in a little bit of a stagger right now. They're gonna have to get back in there and get past these defenses. Looks like they have an opening on the right side. We'll see if they'll take it.
They choose not to take it, and then go straight down the middle.
Damn.
Zeref is very far in there.
Woo! Oh, a little bit of extension. This might be their chance to take him out and make this happen. Wind does go down, and this is their opportunity to come in and finish this off.
Average Fellow another kill. Should be able to walk pretty easily on this point.
Yeah, I don't think that was a smart play by Wind, just trying to disrupt like that, because he was all by himself. Not enough time. Maybe if he waited a little bit longer, it would have worked out. But this is, and they will touch. Okay.
Both DPS pop their ults. Very nice shot from Lemonade, completely taking Boost out the air. Zeref also taking down the Malga.
A fantastic,
fantastic.
I was going to say comeback, but it wasn't a comeback.
No, it was domination. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we got stalled for a little bit at the middle of that, but really all that was is building ult charge and then being able to re-engage with that fight when we were ready.
Yeah, I mean, I almost preferred that we were staggered just a little bit. It made for a more interesting game.
That's true.
Unfortunately, Wind, I hate to bring it up, but I don't know why he pushed that much in the bottleneck and got himself killed and made that opening available.
Yeah.
So
You know, they must be saying the same thing because he switched off of Malga and going to Zarya now.
okay. Zarya
There we go.
is definitely a favorite pick amongst the meta right now. So let's see if it works in their favor this time. But I also like to hand it to Zarif during that. Was able to get some really nice positioning and get some picks during the last round.
Lemonade going to point to try to, I believe, help Zarif, which is already on there.
Now the point is open at this point, and now it is anyone's opportunity to grab it. And it looks like the Mavericks have gained a dominant position already. ISU just going to have to fight their way in there.
Trying to keep Average Pillow alive. Almost went down.
Everyone is so low, but Diane is
Very, very good job from Diane. Excellent support.
Diane and Bacon and Cakes are doing work today.
Average Pillow able to secure 2. 3. Zarif taking down the 4th, and the last one will just back out. That was an excellent job from Diane and Bacon and Cake, keeping their whole team alive right there.
Yeah, 16% went over to the Mavericks, but ISU was able to take it over pretty effectively. Once again, Diane and Bacon and Cakes working overtime to keep their team alive. There were definitely moments there where they could have lost 1 or maybe 2, but they managed to keep everyone alive, and it paid out.
Zarif having to get the heck out of dodge to avoid death.
Average Pillow did manage to get out their main
Very
DS.
big grab from Wind, securing the whole team, but is absolutely
Ooh, Bacon and
not
Cakes.
capitalized on.
Okay.
Wow, ISU was just completely unfazed by that grab. You know, some might say it must have been the wind.
must
Get
have
it?
been the wind.
Get it? Wind? Get it?
Ah, I just got
There we
that.
go.
Ah, I thought you were making a
No.
Skyrim
No.
joke at first, but
It clicked. It clicked eventually.
got there. I'm slow, but still there.
We're looking at alts. Idaho State will have less alts than Minnesota State University.
Boost used his ultimate and managed to grab 2 in the process, which will make an opening available for them to go and grab this contested zone and bring it back to Mavericks' favor.
But not without first giving up 75%. So should make it probably last fight territory if the Bengals are able to recap.
Yeah, and it's
Fully team white.
It's pretty even at this point. I mean, besides contested zone percentages, each team has 3 ultimates to play around with. But ISU does have the tank ult, which might be the make or break.
I think tank ult in conjunction with Zarif's ult that we just came out right now, securing 1 kill, allowing Average Pello, securing 2 kills, allowing Average Pello to come back in.
The Genji was trying to get away, but he got stuck in the window and got found.
And they should be able to just hold this point off before they can touch.
Now this is definitely, once again, last fight territory, and we're down to 1 ult each for the teams. Topaz just does go down, which staggers their ability to
But it does leave them with no ult, actually.
Yeah.
Average Pello also securing 1. Very nice shot from Lemonade, providing support for Zarif. Looks like won't even have to use the ult.
No one to touch, and that, oh,
There is 1 on point.
someone did touch. Oh!
Very nice shot from
Lemonade
Lemonade.
comes to take care
Shutting
of
that
it.
touchdown immediately. And that will be a map 1 win for the Bengals.
Spirits are high in the
Very
arena
high.
today. We can see the head coach fist bumping everyone he can reach. ISU is happy for that win. I think they're more happy about that win than they were about Troy last week.
That's expected, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely a difference between those 2 games.
Man, what did honestly I want to point out what ISU did good, but they just did everything good that game.
Yeah. I would agree. Their positioning was good.
Mm-hmm.
Their teamwork was good. DPS were getting picks.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't allow. They were punishing bad plays, like when Wind would just completely sell himself into the back line, trying to create space, trying to like that big old gash.
It
Like,
almost felt like he was being the ultimate sacrifice,
yeah,
but little too late.
yeah, you know, and like
For the
sometimes that works against like teams who are not as coordinated or not as like playing together. But when you can really like come together and be like, yo, Maga, like shoot the
Yeah.
Maga, and then completely shut it down. That's what happens.
And I feel like in games where there are tanks, if a tank is able to just keep the entire team distracted for a few seconds, sometimes it's all it takes. But what we saw was there was a lot more than a few seconds left in that game and just didn't work out. But in the second game, I didn't see as many mistakes from the Mavericks as in the first round, but ISU still was able to just have a better positioning and better, I would say, overall timing of when they would engage and get those. We also see that in the end there, the Mavericks were a little spread out and a little disoriented, so ISU was just able to capitalize and start staggering left and right and secure that win.
You know, one thing is that when going against the Zarya mirror comp, you start to look at who Zarya counters on the other team. And I mean, not to take any credit away from ISU, but when you look at like just which team which players each team is, which heroes each team is playing. Wow, English, please work. Good Lord. You start to look at who counters who. So in this situation, they had a Genji on their team, which is who Zarya, who Average Pello was doing very well on these past couple weeks, is a complete counter to.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that I'm sure the Mavericks are thinking about going into this next map is if Average Pello stays on Zarya, are we going to keep the Genji, or can that player play somebody else?
And we will see. What we have heard from the Mavericks is that they are pretty much a meta comp team. So they like to keep things pretty simple and without pulling a lot of rabbits out of the hat and changing it up. So I will be surprised if they change it up too much. Maybe they'll switch off the Genji for something else, but I don't imagine much.
I mean,
that.
Their Genji did work at times.
Yeah, he did manage to get like
ults that we saw their Genji got at least 3, I believe.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's useful when he has the Q, but when he ain't got that Q, I don't know.
But when you spend it, you don't got it.
I know.
So next map is going to be Kings Row, and it is. I was expecting this if ISU was going to lose, but we get to see that it is a league-wide favorite for second match. So
no, a little bit of home territory, because if we would have lost, we probably would have chose this map too.
Yeah. Now, I feel like ISU is very strong on this map and this game mode, and I think they will. I don't know. Do you think they're going to go in really strong with that win and be very aggressive, or do you think they're going to be, I guess, more?
In my opinion,
paced.
We should keep this train just.
I agree.
They've never been swept throughout this entire.
The Mavericks?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They've never been swept, nor have they swept anybody.
That's true. What if this is their first sweep?
That's what I'm saying.
It could be.
We got to take this momentum and just completely just roll with it.
But we're not going to jinx anything here. We're going to see what happens and just keep on cheering them on as they go. Looks like Wind is going to stick with Zara. Foost might stick with the Genji. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty similar comp. I'm trying to remember what Invictus.
That was they were Soldiering as well.
Were they? Okay, so they're
literally the same, all across the board.
Yeah, no. Since the Reaper was working for Zeref, I can't imagine that's gonna stop.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. So we will see if ISU is gonna benefit from this composition like they did last time. Looks like they are gonna. I was thinking they were going to go straight for it, but probably good that they didn't.
Overall, this is really good space taking by the Bengals. Nice shot from Lemonade, shutting down Genji immediately. Should be able to walk in pretty easily off of that first entry pick.
Right off the bat, Mavericks are having to back off and kind of give this up. I wonder if that was what they intended.
Of course not.
I mean, no, but like they kind of gave up without a fight a little too quickly. Oh, they're coming back in a little bit.
Coming back in. Average Pillow might have got a little bit too overzealous there.
Doesn't
End up
stay alive.
finding the point. Securing the point with 5 minutes and 30 seconds to push it.
Is that a record? Is that an ISU record?
It might be.
Might be. I don't remember a game where they captured that point that fast. Now, I want to see if ISU is going to play a lot more aggressive. It looks like they already know that there's some sneaky people. Definitely some situational awareness. I'm liking. Unfortunately, Invictus does find Average Pillow and takes him out.
Zeref will also get caught lacking just a little bit, having to back up. So I think they were a little bit undecisive. Indecisive, that's the word.
Yeah.
Wow, my English is not working. They were a little bit indecisive there when kind of deciding, do we want to push up and play that choke up ahead, or do we want to just sit back on cart and push it quicker?
Yeah.
So hopefully that indecisiveness can get fixed here pretty soon. Evidently not. Average Pello does unfortunately go down, forcing the rest of the team to back up.
Yeah, I'll kind of bring up once again, I do wonder if the Mavericks decided to abandon the point early and in favor for this particular bottleneck. And maybe they feel more confident on this bottleneck in holding this. Because, yeah, they've taken out Average Pillow twice this far. And in doing so, have kind of made their ultimates.
And once again, their Genji and their Zarya both pressing their ultimates at the same time, killing the whole team.
Yep, that was a pretty classic Wombo combo that they displayed there.
If I had $1 for every time you said Wombo combo,
You probably have $3.
I'd have more than $3. So now that they use their Wombo combo, hopefully we can use ours now. We do have Average Pello with his ult, along with Lemonade.
Looks like they're just going to go ahead and take this payload down the road, not worry about what lies behind them.
That's a very nice ult from Average Pello. Zeref able to capitalize off it by securing one. Does unfortunately go down in the process.
Even picks going out left and right. Average Pello staying alive just barely, but does go down.
Diane looks away for 1 second, trying to heal.
Diane
Bacon and cake.
does decide to just give her life up to avoid the stagger. Luckily, they didn't actually think to keep her alive any longer.
Yeah, that's a little bit too advanced
For Mavericks?
yeah.
Okay. they were caught up in the moment.
Yeah. Their eyes got big.
But give it props to the Mavericks. They have kept them on this corner for better part of 2.5 minutes, half the game.
Trying to catch the Genji, does that. Very nice bubble from the wing.
Oh, they really want that Genji.
Yeah.
They want him bad.
Average Pello taking heaps of damage. Doing his best to make some space. Trying to burn the Zarya. Does end up getting bubbled.
Yep.
But imagine we see a rally from Bacon and Cake coming out of this next corner. Lemonade with the off angle. Maybe she can secure pick or two.
Zeref does manage to get out with this life there. And now the rally is coming out, and they're going to make the push. Mavericks are going to step back just a little bit, respecting the rally. Oh, and it looks like
Lemonade is the
Genji is the target. Or no, Lemonade is the target of that Genji.
The rest of the team will unfortunately go down because they did get 2 first picks off of that Genji blade. Man, I shouldn't have said anything.
Man.
I should have just kept my mouth shut.
Now, I think ISU should still be in a pretty good position to make one final rally to get this point on the next checkpoint. or to get this payload on the next checkpoint. They have 60 seconds to do it, though.
We also have the ult advantage coming in this next fight. They did expel lots of their ults that last fight, so they won't have Genji Blade, which has been their most useful ult.
Unfortunately, they will have 3, which
probably 4 soon.
So it might not be quite an ult advantage here. Foos does grab a kill on Bacon and Case. It's not looking good. Yeah, what's really working out for the Mavericks right now is they have spread out their ultimates really nicely, so that at least one person usually has one for every single fight.
Yeah. Bit of a preemptive ultimate from Win. Works out very well. Bit of desperation ult from the Bengals. Xerath doing his.
He's going
to be
for
sneaky.
it.
Got a touch. Got a touch. The rest of the team is there. Does unfortunately end up getting shut down.
And Mavericks are able to secure, or no, ISU is able to secure 92 meters in that time allotted to them. Let's see if when the
I'm gonna give the Mavericks their brownie points. They held that for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
In like 30 seconds.
And like I said, they use their ult economy really smartly.
Yeah.
To keep that where it is.
And not only just using it smartly, is that they got value out of every single ult.
Yeah.
Like, because there's a difference between, I mean, you can have the best time in the world when you're using your ultimate, but if you don't hit nothing, it don't matter. Like, you might as well not even have it.
And yeah, that Zarya, that Zarya Genji comp.
Wombo combo.
Wombo combo.
There we go.
Yeah, I feel like I was surprised that they were able to get that off twice in that round.
You would think that, well, I mean, when you think about it, we don't really have anything to counter that. Like, if Wind hits a big grab, we're kind of just at the mercy of anything.
Yeah.
We have no Kiriko and no Baptiste to negate any damage. And so that is one thing that we're going to have to think about going to this next fight. And it looks like they will go to Pharah. Oh, never mind.
No, Foos is going back to
spoke too soon.
Again, they just had a taste of that.
Yeah.
They just like it too much. The average pillow will go for the Renatra. Probably to soak up some of that damage. Or am I mistaken? Is Renatra not a damage soaker?
Renatra isn't a damage soaker, but you can do a little bit more of a further range damage than Zarya can. Also, Ramatra is good against Genji as well, because you can't punch his blade at his deflect, I believe. I might be wrong about that, but I'm sure you can.
Now, I imagine ISU is going to try and keep the points contested longer than Mavericks chose to last round.
That is the aim of the game, yeah. There, if 1v1 in the Sojourn. Gets him very low.
Manages to get out, though.
Get the heck out of dodge. Well, pretty even fight for both teams. Kind of just help each other out.
Everyone's just cashing out.
Get a first pick. Xerath trying. We'll have to retreat once again. Diane will get her ult extremely quick. Providing lots of healing for this team. Essentially farming.
And at this point, both teams are just looking at each other and daring each other to make the first move.
It's going to be whoever presses Q more effectively in this situation. And here it comes. So trading picks for both teams. Both DPS will go down.
Average Pillow does manage to get his ultimate up next. See if he decides to use it without...
Imagine to probably save his life. Maybe.
Oh,
yes.
Keeping him
okay. Still below half health. Big grab from Win.
Oh no.
And there it comes. There.
Diane couldn't see him. They got stuck.
You called it. That is their like ace up their ace up the sleeve when it comes to winning these team fights.
Yeah, that's gonna be their trick.
Yeah. Well, I would assume like maybe a Kiriko swap.
Maybe.
Then again, you don't really want to swap based off of one play that they have up their sleeve because you're not going to get it every time. They're going to get it every couple fights, but the only thing that sucks is that those every couple fights are going to be the ones that matter.
What I would like to see is I would want them to find those people with those ultimates and kind of force them out, kind of make it so they don't get to use them in those crucial moments where they work out the best. If ISU can find the brig and force her to do a panicle.
Seraph does unfortunately go down with his ultimate. Will not get very much value out of that. Wind also just plowing through the Bengals. And I think we'll be able to touch. Yeah, we'll be able to touch. So this will be last fight. Seraph will have to touch for a little bit. Allow the rest of the team to get there.
And he
He gets shut down, but
the touch happened.
Touch did happen.
Fortunately, Bacon and Cakes also goes down, which leaves
95%
ISU open to get wiped.
Lemonade does get that one last final pick before the map does unfortunately go to the Mavericks.
Yeah, so now it is 1v1. Tied game. And I imagine this play of the game is probably going to Genji. He had not one, but two ultimate opportunities open to him.
Yeah, I mean, shooting fish in a barrel, essentially. Not really anything you can do about that, especially when we're not running anything that can do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, like when it happens, like you gotta have to. It's like a dilemma. You either just be like, okay, whatever. It's only gonna happen every 2 or 3 fights. Let's just try to win in that gray area that it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But right now is that win. They have a win condition basically. All they have to do is press 2 buttons effectively and not get it blocked.
Yeah.
And then they completely win a team fight.
What would you do in that situation where I mean that first, it seemed to have happened mostly in that bottleneck.
Yeah.
They utilized that bottleneck in this map 3 times.
Yeah.
ISU were caught as a full team like 3 times. So do you just spread out and try to find some back ends and try to be kind of a split?
Even with that, it's hard because your healer, one of your healers, you have to be close in order to get healed. And the other one, which is your main healer, has to focus on average Pella.
Yeah.
Because like Diane, if Diane, I mean, we've seen it in the, I don't know if you're paying attention, but if Diane would look away for a second to heal somebody else, average Pella's health would gone. So what I would do in that situation is I would have probably a change on the healer. We've seen Diane play Kiriko before.
Yeah, very effective.
So
Diane's a tactical or mechanical ability on Kiriko is we see that she can do the heals very effectively. She can even get the damage out.
Correct.
As Kiriko. So that may have worked.
Yeah, so a simple swap over to Kiriko to kind of give that win condition a little bit less of a 100% chance. You know what I mean? Because like, yes, obviously that Suzu will go away pretty quick, but still, like at least you can walk out of the grab. At least you can stop getting slashed. You know, just don't give them that. Okay, yes, this is always gonna work.
Yeah, and I'll be interested if they keep on trying that trick throughout the rest of this set, because the maps from here on out are a lot more open, so they shouldn't be caught out that much by a wombo combo like that.
But even in the first map that we did see, they were using it pretty effectively.
Were they?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I don't know if you caught what I was saying is that the only time their Genji Foost was getting value was when they popped his ult.
Yeah, but was that with the Zarya ult as well?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I don't see him switching off the Genji anytime soon.
Yeah.
But the question remains is if they're going to be able to utilize these combinations of ults to get these team wipes.
Yeah.
I would hope that going into these following maps that are probably going to be more open, that's not going to be as readily available to them. So looks like they are in a small break. They might be changing up the roster maybe for ISU. So we will check back until then. And yeah, we'll just stand and wait.
Well, we're gonna sit and talk and wait.
We, yeah, let's go to break and we'll catch you guys when everyone is ready. And we're back from that break, and we're going right back into the match here. It is now Flashpoint. We love Flashpoint.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
I don't love Flashpoint, but that's just because I'm bad at the game.
Even if you're good at the game, this mode is not fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of keep tracking of, but we will. ISU will pick Savannah.
Cervasa.
Oh, see,
Cervasa.
I'm the king. I'm the king of mispronunciation.
Yeah.
I probably mispronunciated the word mispronunciation.
You are mispronouncing that word. Yeah, that you're literally mispronouncing the word that you're trying to mispronounce.
You disagree?
No. It's just disagree.
But on our bingo card, there was 4 suitcases. So those who were looking for 4 suitcases, there it is. And they have not, once again, switched their composition. But neither has anyone, for that matter.
Yeah. It's first to 3, right? So
yeah, I believe so.
There's one more map after this, regardless of who wins.
Yeah, we will go to game 4. Yeah. But at this point, I think both teams are just going to be like, they're just going to be stubborn and be like, no, we're the better comp, and we're going to prove it.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. The average pillow does have lots of charge going to this next fight. 100 charge to be exact.
Let's see how it goes and capitalizes.
Lots of value off of that. Nice headshot from Lemonade. Almost able to secure that pick. They will try to walk on the Mavericks. They are pretty heavily defended on this point. Zaref trying his best to create some space and pressure.
We'll see when they choose to actually contest this as a team. It looks like the time might be now, and full stop. Diane does end up with the first ultimate. Unfortunately, Zaref does get taken out, so it doesn't leave the team to its full potential. The orbital ray will come out, though, to support what's left of their team. Baking the Cakes does go down, unfortunately. And the zone is still contested. Lemonade trying to get some angles here, but will go down.
Wind farmed that ult insanely quickly.
Yeah.
Average pillow was still at 55 when Wind popped it. I don't think he's playing Overwatch. He might be playing Farming Simulator. Just maybe.
I actually play that game. I actually play that game quite a lot. I don't
really?
tell anyone because they make fun of me. It's like watching paint dry.
You look like someone who.
But I play a lot of Farming Simulator.
that makes a lot of sense.
And now it looks like it has gone down to overtime, and ISU are going to contest this the best they can to take it over.
Is that our ult? No, it's their ult.
I don't imagine Foost or Topaz are going to actually end up using their ultimates here. I don't think they want to. And they might not need to.
They did already spend Invictus's ult. Doesn't get any picks, but just the presence enough was able to secure that first point for the Mavericks.
Yep.
They are really going to have to try to have an answer. Honestly, I think probably Zaref might need us to a cheer.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think we see a lot of. What do you think? Do you think he should switch to like the Genji and just kind of match it up completely?
I don't know. I don't know who you would switch to, but I would just switch. Maybe someone with a little bit more mobility, I would say. I don't know. At least not like static.
It does feel like he's kind of half effective because he's doing a lot of DPS, but he also has to use that time to get out, and which basically limits how much DPS you can actually do. But ISU is going to contest this and get some picks out. It is a 3v3. Scratch that. It's a 2v3. Lemonade and Average Pillow are the last ones to defend.
And they will end up flipping that. That was a very, very good job from Average Pillow protecting the rest of the team.
Right. And without any supports to back them up, they did a phenomenal job.
Average Pillow did a very nice job with his bubbles, limiting their Genji to only getting 1 kill with their blade.
Kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised that Mavericks chose to back out that quickly. I would have felt like if they saw 2 people with no supports, they would have probably jumped all over that.
Yeah.
But they actually managed to also get all of Maverick's ultimates out of their pockets, which should work out in their favor. Bacon and Cakes
This
has
will actually go along with what you're talking about, is forcing those ultimates out at making them use it at not the same time.
yeah.
This is exactly what they did. So they were able to secure the point for quite a lot, actually.
And even though they are going down, they should be able to set up for one last attempt.
Yeah.
With, wait, let's
More
see.
than one left. That was us.
Oh, that was us.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
us.
what?
So we have 83 right now. They have 10.
Yeah. What I'm saying is ISU has one last attempt to take this back. Unfortunately, I was hoping that Bacon and Cakes would hold on to the rally, but that didn't happen. So they will be going into this pretty much neck to neck. I don't think any teams are going to have any ultimates for this last contested spot.
It will just be a matter of which Zarya can get charged first and bubble usage.
Zara,
Just ran out of ammo.
that is unfortunate. Invictus does grab 2 kills, which will hurt ISU quite a lot. Average Pillow will follow.
Very
through.
good discipline from Average Pillow. I saw it. I saw it in the shake of the screen in the eyes. I know his finger was over Q.
He wanted it.
Yeah, I would have wanted it. My ego would have got too big. I would have pressed it. Better discipline than me.
But once again, Maverick does sit on top of 3 ultimates, which will make it hard. Wind is not too far behind, so it's going to make it 4 here pretty soon, allowing Maverick to have the Wombo combo ready for this last.
Zarif with the first entry pick. Look, they following
They might
up.
not be able to use it unless they.
Zarif is out trying to get the pick, does not end up doing it.
And now it's down to overtime, 99 versus 99, and who is left standing? It is Maverick.
I did see the vision from Zarif, but I did not like the execution.
Yeah.
I think probably would have been better off just peeking around the corner and just shooting the Sojourner regularly.
Yeah, maybe even if he held off just
Yeah.
a few more seconds, it may have worked out in their favor there. Because I felt like ISU definitely had a stance that they could have worked on or worked off of, but that's what happens in the game. There's a lot going on, a lot of decisions to be had.
And it's Pello very, very nearly just escaping death.
But they choose to get up there. They're going to have to get through this little tight spot.
Zarif will go down again. It is hard to 1v1 a Genji on Reaper. Trying to find a sneak little headshot. Does end up getting it. Completely deletes Wind's health.
Now the rest of ISU is here. We'll see what they choose to do. There are a lot of angles at this. They're really hugging this left side. Mavericks are in a good position to basically. Oh, Zarif does manage to grab a pick. Invictus grabbing 2, so it leaves it down to a 4v3. Bacon and Cakes grabbing a pick themselves.
Lemonade extremely low. Unfortunately, does go down in the process. Still battling, but Wind does clean it up pretty easily. Yeah, overall, I think this does just go back to the value and usage of ults.
Yes.
Like, in that last fight, Zarif used their ult for one person.
Ooh, what's
Trying just to touch.
trying to touch? Yeah.
And will be unable to touch.
Well, Flashpoint will go over to the Mavericks, and that puts them at a lead, 2-1.
Yep.
2-4-1? No, it's
2-1.
2-1.
You're making me hungry. 2-1. Have you ever seen those? I'm sure you have. Seen those ads on like NFL where it's like the NFL is rigged to make you hungry.
I have seen those.
Yeah.
That was like one of the longest Super Bowl ads this year.
That's what you just reminded me of.
I mean, I am giving out subliminal messages to get people to eat Taco Bell and stuff. I am being paid on the side. So it's a little bit of clarity and transparency for everyone who is watching.
Yeah, he is sponsored by Taco Bell, actually.
No, not really. Us and ISU do not Do not condone or non-condone Taco
Yeah,
Bell is what
we
I officially say
we stand neutral with Taco Bell.
for now.
Anyways, Overwatch. Um,
We are. You think it's gonna be pushed next?
I don't think. I think it is.
It is.
I believe so. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's gonna be push.
All right.
Which is also my non-favorite mode again.
So do you like? Do you just only like
The older modes.
older modes?
Yes.
Okay.
All the new ones I don't like. They're
Gotcha.
not fun. Especially push.
Push is hard.
Yeah.
Push is hard.
Anyways, I want to ask you your opinion. What do you think? Why do you think we got kind of dominated that point?
Well, we say it time and time again. Um, Mavericks were able to get boots on the ground first and get a lot of DPS out in the process. We did see, like you said, their Zeref, not Zeref. I don't know why I said Zeref. Their Zarya
Yeah.
was able to farm uh, pretty quickly. So basically, it meant that he had a target pretty much the entire time in that first contested zone. So stuff like that, we say it time and time again. First one to the egg, first one to the key. You win the game. So for them, they were just a little faster and had more of a, I would call it high ground.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they had more metaphorical high ground throughout that entire match.
Star Wars reference.
Yeah.
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 Okay. I would agree, but also I think maybe some comp switches from the Bengals would also help. Like I was saying beforehand, like the Kiriko switch, and then possibly a switch from Zeref off of the Reaper.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really see.
You want to go walk over there and be like, switch to Zero?
Yeah, I'm just go walk over there, press F on his keyboard, and click another character for him. Yeah, I don't know. I just think the value, just not even at the characters, the value of the alts, for like the difference between each team is pretty vast.
Okay.
Is that because each time they've pressed Q, they've gotten value out of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like each time we're doing it, it's in reaction to them.
That's true.
So
So
also that goes back to what you were saying is the hypothetical high ground. Yeah.
time it kind of felt like that one time where I wish that Brig would hold on to the ult a little longer,
Yeah.
just to set up for that next fight, which would have worked a lot better. But like we said, it's a game with a lot of decision making, a lot of fast paced. Sometimes you feel like you. I don't know. It's always hard not to push Q.
Yeah.
No one's gonna say it's easy.
So our next map will be New Queen Street. We don't have a graphic for it, but it is New Queen Street.
New Queen Street. Is that a Junkertown street or is that like New England?
What? Is
I
that
was just wondering if New Queen is a reference to Junker Queen or if that's a reference to England.
Neither.
Neither.
Canada.
Can-
Moose. Oh.
Oh, okay.
The moose back.
We're not talking about the moose today.
Yes, it's related to moose.
Okay.
That's all you have to remember. So now, whenever we're casting and New Queen Street comes up,
I'll think of the moose.
you're gonna think of the moose.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna think Canada, and then you're gonna think, oh, yeah, I know this man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By now, the spectators and viewers are just realizing just how much of a noob I am.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
So I don't know exactly what we are waiting for. Don't know if anybody had to go for a break again.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Last time it was a little longer of a break, but this time, who knows? We'll just wait to see what happens. We can just wait. But I really hope to see something different. I don't want
Yeah.
to see the same comp for the fourth time. And I'm not talking about ISU or Mavericks. I'm talking about both.
Yeah. I agree.
We need
I agree.
like a Pharah. We need
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't think you're gonna get it though.
maybe not.
I promise you, it's more than likely gonna be the same across the board.
You think?
Yeah, probably.
You think at this point? Do you think it's like no, we're not
If
we're not budging
if
on
anyone's
both
gonna
teams?
if anyone's gonna switch, it's gonna be us.
Well, yeah, I think so. For some reason, I get the impression that the Mavericks just don't care to.
Spice it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I wish we could have data on what comps they played throughout the whole season. I want to see what comps every team played on the whole season.
Well, you probably can look. You just gotta go back and watch every game.
That's true. If they do, like we know Troy doesn't broadcast their games. I'm pretty sure Minnesota probably does.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just patiently waiting. What are you gonna do for spring break?
Go home,
Where's home for you?
Southern California.
All right.
I want good food.
Oh, we don't have good food here.
No, no, not at all. You have some good food, but I miss food. I want cane.
Can't. Is that a restaurant?
You never had canes before? Raisin canes?
Right. Okay. I was thinking. I was like, isn't there another word for that? I've heard of it. I've never
Heard of it. Oh, I feel bad for you. I'm gonna have to bring back canes after spring break.
You know, you might hate me for saying this, but all my California friends, they always talked up. What's that burger joint?
In-N-Out?
In-N-Out. They talked up In-N-Out so much, and I go and I have my first In-N-Out. It was like so mid.
Yeah, bro. Coming from the person who doesn't even know what Raisin Canes is.
That's true. I don't know what they sell there.
Exactly.
That's true.
I don't want to hear it.
But I come from a place where I didn't see my first Sonic until I moved to the Midwest.
And you're over here talking about In-N-Out being mid.
In my hometown, our closest McDonald's was 2 hours away.
Oh my lord. What'd you eat? Elk?
Milk.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't eat the milk, but
Yeah.
sometimes it was cold out.
Uh-huh.
Cold enough where we had to eat the milk. But yeah, so we are into our next match. And it looks like compositions have switched up a little bit for ISU. Zeref chooses to go with the Tracer. But as far as Maverick goes, they choose to be unmoving.
Yeah. See, I told you. If there's going to be anybody that switch, it'll be us.
Oh, I didn't doubt it. Taking the cakes, barely surviving. Looks like Maverick is getting out a little bit more DPS.
Also barely surviving. Kind of playing this high ground a little bit. Gotta contest the point eventually. Probably work their way back around.
Someone's there.
And doing her best to keep everybody up. Zeref on the flank, I believe. Both teams pretty even. I don't think there's been a pick yet in this game.
I'm guessing Maverick is going to have to back off the point just a little bit. ISU is going to be able to roll it back and get it back in their corner.
So they do end up, yeah, you're right. They do end up stealing the robot. Almost flipping the map on the Mavericks. Average Pillow does unfortunately go down.
Yeah, he just got kind of in the middle of a lot of angles there.
Yeah, oversended maybe just a little bit. Couldn't quite get the best of healing from the rest of his team.
Foos does go down, which is good.
Zeref being sneaky, trying to secure a pick here and there. Be curious to see if Zeref's Tracer does end up working out.
Yeah.
More in favor than the Reaper. See if I was correct or not.
Taking it. Well.
Overall,
Yeah, both teams are still on this point, and no one is really making a huge move right off the bat. A little bit of a lull moment.
kind of a Mexican standoff, honestly. Kind of just
It does pull up his ultimate. See if he gets a pick here. He will.
both Invictus and Boost pulls out their ultimates, and they will get lots of value based off of that. But now they will not have that famous wombo combo anymore, though.
Yeah, I do like those wombo combos. I like when we do it.
Yeah. So that will be something to look for in these next upcoming fights. Is that Wynn's grab shouldn't be as powerful, and they shouldn't have to be fear it as much because they don't have anything.
And going into this next fight, ISU will have the slight favor with the ultimate. Average Pillow will have his up just momentarily, and they should be able to capitalize on that. 4 ultimates in ISU's pockets, with Maverick only having 3, with no...
Lemonade getting dove immediately after popping their ult. Does end up securing a kill. Nice pick for Lemonade.
He's going to get out of there, but Genji is on the run.
Does unfortunately end up going down with that one pick that is secured. And not really a lot of confidence from the Bengals.
Nope.
I don't know, kind of just like sitting there waiting for what the other team is going to do.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Mavericks have just had a person on the point pretty much the entire time, except for that one time where ISU was able to grab that 10 meters or so for themselves. But all ultimates will be coming out, all 3. For
nice grab from Average Fellow.
And they were able to counter it. Every single ultimate from Mavericks was pushed out right there, but somehow
wow.
ISU was able to hold strong and not die. I'm not even talking about the kills they got. They didn't die.
That is true. That is the most important part of this game. Not dying. Now they just have to not die for the rest of the game. And we'll win.
Yeah. Easy.
So,
oh, looks like they're going in, but they're getting out real quick.
Looking at ults just based off of both teams, looks like pretty even. They will have 2 ults in this next upcoming fight. We will have 1.
Dare does get caught out. Foos has his ultimate ready. I wonder if he's going to find that angle to use it.
Might not even have to. Average Pillow does unfortunately go down. So will Bacon Cake and Diane and Lemonade. And they will promptly take the robot back and start pushing it towards our home.
Now, Foost, I almost called him Frost. Foost did hold on to the ultimate. He was a little stewardess right now.
What even is that word?
Stewardess means you take care.
Forget I asked.
Yeah.
Anyways, Boost does end up popping an ult.
Both DPSs pop off their ultimate.
Yeah, at the same time.
Probably trying to clean up house, and it will work out.
Probably work. So there's one thing that I did notice is that if it's not Foost and Wind, it's Foost and Invictus popping their ults at the same time.
Yeah.
This ends now.
Lemonade popping her ult. Last Desperation does end up securing a kill. Nice pick, trying to get another one. Misses a couple shots, just barely gets it. Does end up getting it. Will go down the process, but does secure 2. Should be able to flip the point. I shouldn't have said anything.
And it looks like no one is left to contest the point, and that will be Maverick's win of the set.
You know what? At least we didn't give them their first sweep.
Yeah, we denied them that. That's true.
We denied them that.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, like we kind of said, it looked like ISU is had a little bit of a struggle with confidence in these last few games. They had a really good, strong first game.
Yeah.
And it kind of snowballed from there. We could see that their performance was dipping a little bit more and more as the set went on.
Yeah.
So maybe something that they need to look into and figure out how to overcome that mentality.
Maybe making that switch a little bit earlier from Reaper to Tracer, or having Xerath come off of Reaper. You know, because if you have more time to really find out what's gonna work, rather than just switching on the last map, kind of a last-ditch effort, you might be able to find more footing, get more comfortable, and then plant, pivot, and then start building that momentum back against them.
And I believe that pivot can probably even through potential for screwing up their game, that they've kind of had a solid composition that they did not stray from once.
Yeah.
At least I don't think so.
No.
In the first game, first map, they basically had the same composition from start to finish, all 4 maps. So even pivoting and switching things up drastically or slightly, I would hope could make it so they can't just kind of sit on that hill uncontested.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But that will wrap up the regular season for ISU. And we will be going into the spring break before they go. The NACE League goes into the playoffs. But we also have a doubleheader, and we are going for today, and we are going to now watch Valorant's junior varsity team play. So this is one of those rare opportunities where we get to cast them.
Yeah.
That won't be us. That'll be the other casters, and we'll just be standing and watching, enjoying it. So, yeah, it's been a great
season.
It's been a great season, man. If you guys want to get updates on games, schedules, live streams, you can follow us on. You can follow. Sorry,
You got it.
Idaho State University Esports on Instagram, Twitch, and X.com. And also, tryouts are coming along. So if you feel like you got what it takes to join the competition here in the esports arena, please put in your application at isu.edu/esports. So, yeah.
Either way, that'll be it.
We'll be signed. The director is corrected me. It's esports.isu.at. He's going to write me down.
It's esports@isu.edu.
There we go.
Got it.
We will catch you guys later. I'm Dirk.
I'm Noah. Have a good one.